Morning, folks. Today's soap is brought to us from Strike Gold Shave. This one here is called Hoover. Scent profile on this one here, in other words, some of the scent notes like jasmine, sage, I've got lavender, iris, vanilla, oakmoss, just to name a few. It started out with 5 ounces. It's got somewhat less than that. And it's fairly solid there inside the container there. I think if I remember right, Frank is going to be bringing this scent back in the new soap base. So if you're interested in Hoover, be looking out for, I guess you might say, a new soap coming out. I guess you might say new soap. No, old soap on an old scent on a new soap base. There we go. That's what I'm getting at. And it's a liking or maybe similar to Skin Bracer, which if you look at that 7 ounces, you can usually find this right around the $4.50 mark. It is basically, in my opinion, relatively inexpensive when you look at how much you're getting for your dollar. And like the color here, and I think for some folks, if you had to categorize the soap scent as well as the aftershave here, it is a green scent to a degree. It may not be the green scent that you're thinking of, but in other words, it is a variant of a green scent. Yeah, there we go. It's probably the best way to put it, because my take on a green scent, even though the Skin Bracer, I do pick up the green, straight from the container, but my thought of green, which I probably should have when I made my order a while back, should have went ahead and picked up Sterling's green to see how close it was. But a while back I had a Perry Ellis 360 and a green container, and it was green, of course, and that green is what, in my mind, that's what I think of green. And this one here is just a different take on it. It's green, just not like that green that I was, in other words, expecting. So when it comes to reading the soaps, when it comes to all the scents that are in there, like the jasmine, the sage, and whatnot, and then when you get it, how does all those play together? I understand sometimes, it's hard to know what you're getting until you actually get it and see how it interacts with your nose. With my nose, it interacts differently than what yours will. But at any rate, I've got it whipped up here in my thrift store fine bowl here. It's a little on the wet side, but not drippy. This is a bore knot. These brushes, you'll see me use them from time to time. You can find this one here, or ones like this, either with a boar bristle or a synthetic knot. And to me, these run right around anywhere from $5 to $7, maybe a little bit higher, depends on where you're shopping at. But these are just great little brushes, inexpensive, and they work just fine. I really like them. They're great budget brushes. I enjoy using them. Blade of the day. This will be the first time I've used this. This one here comes by the way of India. It's called Laser Ultra. It says it's triple coated, and comes in a 10-pack. Comes double wrapped in a wrapper like this right here. Nice wrapper. I appreciate when they put out the effort to put some information on the wrapper instead of just a plain white one. I understand there's a cost involved, but it just looks a lot better. Kind of makes you feel more comfortable about what you're getting. This is a twist to open Parker 90R. Sometimes it's hard to remember, does the R come before the 90 or after the 90, or remember how it works. But anyway, this one here is a Parker. It's a twist to open. Yes, this handle is a bit long. I think we're looking at 4 inches in length, and weight is about 2 3/4 ounces. Matter of fact, here, see if I can, yeah, there we go, turn around this way. That's what the blade looks like there on the inside. And this will be the first time using the blade and this particular shaver. I don't have very many twist open Parkers. Not very many. Most of them that I have are 3-piece. Not too sure why it went that direction when I got interested in Parkers. Going rate, dollars, you're looking right around the $30 mark. It's Uh, no, it's not the cheapest shaver out there, but it does fit into most budgets. And for me, I long time ago I fell in love with Parker razors and kind of always just kind of picked them up from time to time when I was interested in trying something new. So there's going to be a number of videos with Parker razors. Uh, Twist open, the three-piece design, the shavettes. Uh, they're all, to me, reasonably priced. Will fit in the smaller budgets. And you can get great shaves with them. My very first Parker DE was a Parker 48R. I think I got the letter in the right spot. Anyway, it's a good looking razor. I really do like it. Uh, I that was one of the reasons why I got it, because I thought it was a great looking razor, especially at that price point. But Parker to me is a quality product. See what they started out in late 1973. Of course, for me at that point in time, I was clueless. Had no idea that this sort of thing was going on in 73. By the time I started shaving and whatnot, like I say, it's uh, the big single edges, just a single blade, orange handle, white top, I think it is, and some Good News razors. Tried electric, and yeah, I went through a few of them. Had no idea that the double edge was still a thing. Remember always seeing the blade in the store. Just didn't know who, where do you go to get the razor itself. Most of the time I never did see the razors, always saw the blades. Definitely, I can smell the green. It's definitely coming out. I've noticed it more through the lather as opposed to straight off the puck. And then maybe that'll make a difference to you if you decide to pick up Hoover and the new soap base. I'm not real sure when it's coming out. Last time I looked, I didn't notice it on the website, so it's still a work in progress type thing. Now, some people sing the praises of this blade, say it's a pretty nice blade. I'm going to find out here. It's kind of typical to me. Not always the case, but that you have a little bit of singing, a little bit of I guess you might say feedback with the twist open. Not always, but I know a number of them have that quality to them. I have to say, so far it's pretty smooth. I have a link down below for this stuff. If you're interested in checking it out. As goes for how the handle is designed, for me to keep control of the razor itself, putting my little finger here underneath the knob, it's got places right here that seem to be, how can you say, intuitive for me. In other words, just right where I would hold it to begin with. At least it works well for me. That's how, it's designed just the way I normally would have held a razor like this, even if it hadn't had those indentions right there where you put your fingers. Now, Parker, if you're unfamiliar with Parker, Parker has several different twist open razors that are different styles. So in other words, if you don't like this style, you want one with color, then they got some with colored handles. Just, various different kinds. Twist open products. For me, this soap base works fine. I don't have an issue with it. I understand, always wanting to improve the product line. And I understand that. But if you're kind of like me, sometimes it is easy to get into routine. I am that kind of guy. You kind of notice that through my shaves, they are pretty somewhat routine. I have a system, a way of doing things that works well for me. And I guess you might say that's what I stick with. It's kind of hard to venture off into something else. And every once in a while, something will pique my interest. Like, for instance, I'm using Preshave soap, Preshave oil. Now, I have tried to use shave oil and didn't really like it. It's not that it didn't work, I just didn't like it. In other words, I enjoy this part. Whipping up the lather, watching it mature. It still smells good. I really like it. To me, one of the things that kind of, I guess you might say, really hit my fancy on this one here was the fact that that is similar to Skin Bracer. Those soap lines that are, in other words, one like Brute. Those kind of soap lines. Some that are patterned after or similar to Old Spice. So in other words, if you've got the Brute or the Old Spice or the Skin Bracer or whatever the case might be able to go to the store and get your aftershave that way. Guess you might say still offering an artisan type product for the budget minded shaver. You're still able to go and pick up your aftershave in the store. That'll run you right around the $5 mark instead of 15 or 20 or whatever the artisans are charging for their aftershaves. And nothing wrong with that. I mean, because the difference in between the artisan's aftershave and what you're getting in the store, yeah, there is a difference. And it's just really, for you, where are you at in your budget, whether you're able to do that or not. So it does give a guy an option. It's done pretty good so far. This third pass could be more of a touch-up pass, pickup. There's not a whole lot left, more down here, which is kind of typical for me. Usually my cheeks get pretty darn smooth, and then the only thing left is down underneath my chin or jawline, if you will. I guess you might say, depends on how you will look at it. I'm lucky enough that I don't have a pronounced jawline, so it is really easy for me to shave around my jaw and not usually have to worry about any kind of cuts. I do have the creases on my neck that I have to pay attention to, even with a DE. You can kind of see that even the knot, as small as it is, still holds quite a bit of lather in the bristles and releases it. To me, it doesn't take a whole lot to get these broke in. Boar brushes, horsehair, those are the ones I started with, and I do enjoy using them. Synthetic, though, I have to say, it's giving all the natural brushes a good run for their money. If they ever get the color down on a synthetic bristle to come very close to looking like a badger, which they, on the dark colored badger, they come pretty darn close, look pretty good. Almost to the point where it's going to get kind of hard to tell the difference just by looking at it in between a natural bristle and a synthetic. I'm getting pretty good at it. But if, in other words, your white mountain top, to get one to look so close where you can't hardly tell the difference, especially in the picture, it's going to be hard. Yeah, everybody's going to be wanting those synthetic knots, which I would understand because they do dry a lot quicker. There is a blade feel with this particular shaver. I don't feel like it's over the top. Blade's working out pretty nice. I can understand why some people are singing his praises. Just going through my normal routine, there is very In other words, I'm like 98% smooth. There's not much left. I enjoy shaves like this, especially when you're trying out a new product, new shaver, new blade, and all of it just comes together, works out well. Feels really good. This soap base, realizing it's an older soap base, but boy, this soap base, the post shave is pretty nice. I don't know what the weather's like around where you're at. Here it's like one moment we're up in the 50s, and then excuse me, then the extended forecast, they're talking about maybe some snow. It is January, and even though we're at the end of January, I would have thought that the weather would be a lot different than this. And you know, it goes in cycles. You'll have some winters that are kind of mild, and then you'll have some winters where the temperature is absolutely freezing day in and day out. A little bit of stinging right there. Can't really complain. I mean, this shave was pretty smooth, especially with products I've never used before. I was unsure how this blade was going to work. Don't know if you could tell by looking at the box. I've had these blades for a moment, just kind of unsure, waiting for me to be, I guess you might say, mentally prepared to use it. But the box is just, it's coming apart. It's been in a package with a bunch of other boxes and kind of got smashed up just a little bit. But I've had these blades for a moment. Kind of glad I got them. But sometimes when it comes to new blades, I get really apprehensive. Is that not interested in getting a bad shave. Just not interested. I've already had my fair share of them over the years. Yep, I can still pick up the melon, cucumber, melon just barely. At the very beginning I picked it up, but then the cucumber kind of took over. Now as it goes for me, oh, I should say, I enjoy the comments down below. Whether you agree or disagree, I like hearing both of them. It's the reason why if you, for me, I watch people that have a different opinion on from me, and I enjoy watching those kind of videos because it gives a different point of view. And with my nose the way it is, I know that your nose is picking up either a lot better than what mine is or something even totally different. But for me, for instance, the cucumber, the melon, I can't smell it. It's already gone. It's toast. So for other folks, like my wife, she can pick it up and she can still smell it. For me, not so much. Well, like again, this is a great value. For some of those that have been around a little while and picked up on Stephen Davidson's videos, that opening is pretty good size. You'll notice there's several of his videos with this particular aftershave in there. He liked his skin bracer. To me, it's a nice scent. It's just one that for green, that scent, how can you say, I reach for it every once in a while. It's not something that I find a green scent that I'm looking for on a daily basis. If anything, I look for it's menthol. Something to cool the face. It just feels really good doing that. Yep, my nose is picking it up. I had a great shave. This is good stuff. Like I say, I haven't really found a Parker shaver just yet that disappointed me. So maybe I'll find one day here in the near future. But so far, not so much. Great shaver. Had a great shave today. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.